Yeah.
Only just trying to make myself look pretty.
No, we tend not to do face shots.
Okay, that's fine.
Mostly because none of us are pretty.
Oh,
Okay, so, yes, 30k time. It's been a long time since we played our last game, and very excited we have Sam from Emperor's Path here. Oh, there's his arm, hello. Okay, so we have 2,850 points today. My Death Guard going up against the Space Wolves, which will be very exciting. I've not played Space Wolves in 30k. They look quite worrying. I've seen their rules, and I've seen the army, and yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. We are playing the Blood Feud mission, and it's the No Retreat Heresy Gibraltar rules?
yes.
Something like that?
Yes, the SN Battle Reports Horus Heresy 2
Okay, yep.
No Retreat list missions.
Excellent. Okie dokie. So, Blood Feud, we're playing Hammer and Anvil deployment. We haven't worked out who's taking which side yet. We haven't worked out who's deploying where. No, first is what I meant then. So, rules-wise, do you want to just quickly talk us through it?
Yeah, so slightly different to when you're playing a normal mission. The Gibraltar rules basically mean that there's a primary, a secondary, and a tertiary objectives, which means that when you're knocking down and writing down your objective points, you basically have to put them into 3 separate categories. So the primary mission is Blood Feud, which is basically kill points, but you get an additional kill point under a secret one which you so wish, which is infantry, independent characters, yada yada yada. Predominantly, Matt and myself both spoke, and we went infantry. Yeah.
I've seen his list. He's seen mine. Yeah.
I have not played a game where anybody has ever picked anything other than infantry.
Okay.
So it's fun though, because smashing infantry is
absolutely
good in Heresy. And then, so whoever wins that objective gets 14 victory points. If we draw, we halve the victory points.
Yep.
Then there's the secondary objectives, which is Slay the Warlord, Last Man Standing, and the Price of Failure.
Yep. Price of Failure is the Lords of War.
If a Lord of War dies, it's D3. I think it's 2 in this, but we'll get to that when it comes
that's
to
fine.
it.
That's fine.
And if you win that, you get 8 victory points.
Okay.
And once again, if you draw, you split it in half.
Yep.
And then finally, the tertiary objectives are Line Breaker and Table Quarters.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting one because in Heresy, usually it's only troops and Implacable Advance that score. However, for this rule, they've basically stated that anything can score for these objectives.
Sure.
Apart from a flying vehicle or something like that. So with Line Breaker, same as in 7th edition 40k, if anything is within 12 inches of your opponent's deployment zone, you score a victory point.
Yep.
Table Quarters. Now this is an interesting one, especially as we're not playing that deployment. If you have a unit in each of the Table Quarters, you score a point.
Okay. For each quarter?
For each quarter.
Yep.
So say for example, if myself and Matt both had a unit here, we both score a point each. They don't cancel each other out. If I had a unit here and Matt didn't, I'd score a point and he wouldn't. Likewise, elsewhere on the board. So it doesn't matter if there's more than if you've got an enemy in your quarter.
Yeah.
And then you have those all up at the end.
Excellent.
We'll see how we've done.
So there's a potential for what, 26 or 27 points or something if you win all 3?
28 points.
28. Okay. So yeah.
It's
all right.
An astounding amount.
Yeah, that's slightly different from the add up some numbers or add 1 for if you do this and then 1 for Warlord and then you win by 3 points to 0. Yeah. But it's going to be interesting. First proper game of Heresy. For me, played against Will, but neither of us really knew what we were doing. So, well, hopefully it'll be different this time. Hopefully we'll actually know what we're doing. So yes, it's going to be very interesting. We will see the lists in a moment, and yeah, hope you enjoy. Okay, and here we have Sam's 2,850 points of Space Wolves. Looking pretty awesome. I see Russ in the middle there, which is a little bit worrying. So let's have a look. Should we start with HQs? Assuming it's these handsome chaps at the front. Who we got on the left?
So on the left there, you've got a Priest of Fenris as a Speaker of the Dead with a plasma pistol and Tiffy armor.
Yep.
Then you've got a Forge Lord with chainsword, plasma pistol, Tiffy armor, and rad grenades.
Excellent.
And then this one is sadly being proxied a little bit. This is another Speaker of the Dead
with a power axe instead of a Volkite pistol. And once again, got Tiffy armour.
Okay, next, if we move to, I'm assuming these are Grey Slayers.
Yes, so these are my compulsory troops choice for Space Wolves. I don't get a choice, I have to take them. So
They're not a bad choice, though.
Oh, they're a fantastic choice. You either basically kit them out bare bones, pretty much like tactical squads with additional close combat weapons, or you go for the smashing people in the face option, which is what I've done.
Yeah, I can see some power swords and some power fists, and yeah, okay.
So for every 1 in 5 you get a power fist, plus the sergeant can take one. So both squads are exactly the same. You've got 3 power fists in each, 5 power axes, 2 power swords, and Tiffy armour on the sergeant.
Okay, and there's the second one over there. That's a lot of powers I was hearing then.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's all right. Assault squad?
So a 10-man assault squad with a Thunderhammer, Melter Bombs, Tiffy armour on the sergeant, and 2 power mauls on the 2 guys in the squad. Not multi-bombing, because it's not allowed in the current FAQ.
Not what?
Multi-bombing. So the whole squad can take Melter Bombs if they want.
Oh, yes.
And because you can only use 1 grenade per combat, it's not points efficient on this one. And because the SN rules state that I can only use 1 bomb, I'm not paying the extra 50 points.
Nope, that's perfectly understandable. And over here?
And then over here I've got a 7-man plasma support squad. It'll make sense in a bit as to why it's only a 7-man one. You've got a Nuncio Vox on one guy, which is the guy with the little antenna. And then you've got the sergeant with Tiffy armour and Melter Bombs.
Without his helmet, because sergeants don't wear helmets.
Obviously.
Absolutely.
Which I do need to sort of work on for the assault squad. It's the one thing that annoys me about how I built my army. So basically one of the priests of Fenris will go with them, because the priest of Fenris makes them fearless, gives them preferred enemy against infantry, and also gives them a 5-up feel no pain. So hopefully, if they overheat, I should at least save, followed by a feel no pain.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I'm not particularly liking the sound of it, but it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And they are riding in
the Land Raider Proteus just behind them, which has been upgraded with extra armour, Dozer Blade, and it's also had... So the Proteus, for those who don't know, comes with no hull-mounted weapon, but you can upgrade it with a Heavy Bolter, Twin-Link Flamer, or a Twin-Link Las Cannon for 30 points. I've also paid for the Exploratory Web on it, which allows me to mess with either my opponent's reserves or boost mine. And it also reduces the transport capacity by 2, making it an 8 transport capacity.
So 7-man support squad plus priest.
Excellent.
What have we got over here?
This is Russ and the fellow boy band squad. It's Lehman Russ as standard. And he's running with an 8-man Varagir squad. So the Varagir, they basically get to switch their combi bolter to a frost weapon for free. And then they also get to upgrade their other frost weapon to a chain fist for 5 points. So the frost weapon being a specialist weapon as well means that on the charge or being charged, they are 4 attacks each. And they cause fear, they are stubborn, and they've got implacable advance as well.
Weapon skill 5 base?
Yes, weapon skill 5 base, so 6 on the charge.
Nice. Okay, and obviously the big man himself, Mr. Russ. And then the thing that I'm least looking forward to is what's hiding at the back there. So that's what, 2 Dreadclaws and a Charybdis?
Yes. It is called the Cookie Monster Drop Pod Assault.
Okay, lovely. Well, I know what these can do, because I've got 3 of them for my word bearers, but I don't really know what this one is.
Okay. So the Charybdis is 5 hull points. It's 12 all round still, like a normal drop pod. When it comes down, it does the same heat blast thing that an Ambulance does. And it has got 5 heavy 2, twin-linked, pinning, strength 6, AP 6. It doesn't really come into play that often. Missile launchers, and they can all fire at whatever they want, as long as it's within their firing arc. So it's pretty good at getting stuff down.
That's pretty cool. Are you running a right?
Yes, I'm running the Bloody Claw Rite of War, which gives my Grey Slayers and my Assault Marines Furious Charge, and it also means that if I'm in your deployment zone, I get +1 to my combat resolutions as well.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much. 2,850 points of Space Wolves. It's going to be an interesting one, I think. Alright, so this is 2,850 points of Death Guard. I'm running the Reaping as the Rite of War. So let's have a look and see what we got. So, first things first, HQ, a Siege Breaker, Cataphracti Terminator Armour, Thunder Hammer, and Combi Volkite. I think that's what he's got. Let's have a look. Rad Grenades as well on him. We've then got a Primus Medicae. He has a power weapon. That's actually the only proxy in the list. I hope you're alright with that.
That's fine.
The Lightning Claw is actually just a power sword, because they can't take Lightning Claws anymore. He has Rad Grenades and a Refractor Field and Artificer Armour. Troops, a 15-man tactical squad. The Sergeant has the Power Scythe, Artificer Armour, and Melter Bombs. And there's a Vexilla. They've all just got bolters, there's no additional close combat weapons. Because of the Reaping, we can take heavy support squads as troops choices. So there is a 9-man squad with autocannons. Sergeant has Artificer Armour, and that's the only upgrade for them. Third and final troops choice is a 10-man assault squad. There is a power sword and a power maul in there. The Sergeant has lots of stuff that I can't remember off the top of my head. Artificer Armour, combat shield, melter bombs, and rad grenades, and a power fist. So that's that dude in the middle. Elites, we've got 3 apothecaries is as part of one detachment. 2 down here, Artificer Armour, power sword, and rad grenades. 1 with a jump pack, power sword, and rad grenades. 4 Death Shroud. They've all got... nope, they don't have melter bombs. So 4 Death Shroud Terminators. The pointy one has rad grenades, because I forgot to upgrade all of them. And a Contemptor Dreadnought with Chain Fist. He has a Graviton gun in the fist and a Twin Link Volkite Culverin. Fast attack, 6 Outriders, so bikers. There's a power sword, a power axe, and the Sergeant has a power fist, rad grenades, and melter bombs. Leviathan Siege Dreadnought, Storm Cannon, 2 heavy flamers, armoured ceramite, and the Siege Drill. Nothing else on him. And 5 Grave Warden Terminators. The Sergeant, the guy at the front, has a power fist. The rest of them have chain fists, and there's a heavy flamer with chem munitions in there. And last but not least, Mortarion, leading up the force. So that's that. 2,850 points of Death Guard. Okay, so here we are after deployment. I won the roll-off to choose to go first or second. I chose to go first and chose this deployment zone. So Sam's got the other end of the table. We've got the tactical squad on the right-hand side, Contemptor Dreadnought in the ruins next to them, and the Leviathan at the back. There's an apothecary with the tacticals. The heavy support squad in the ruins, we've got an apothecary with them and the siege breakers with them as well, just to give them tank hunter. Assault squad in the middle, joined by the 3rd apothecary with the jump pack, obviously. Bikes at the back. Mortarion and the Primus Medicae have joined the Death Shroud, and then the Grave Wardens on the left-hand side. So that's my deployment. Sort of, kind of, maybe a refused flank kind of thing, but then I've spread out too far for it to really do that, so. And now, I hope you all are in for you're in a comfy seat, you got yourself a cup of tea. We've got probably about 20 minutes of explaining Sam's deployment. So yeah, we'll start on the left-hand side of his deployment zone. We'll move to the middle. And then on the far right, we've got an assault squad and a Proteus with the support squad in it.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting. He's got loads of drop pods coming down, and I'm quite scared by it. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, it's currently me going first. Sam will try to seize in a bit, and then we'll come back after turn 1. Okay, so, yes, I'm currently going first. We've seen Sam's deployment over there. He is about to roll for seize the initiative.
Excellent. Okay, so this is the feared This is the feared big red dice. So far, it's let me down on the last couple of opportunities.
Wow.
So I'm hoping I get 6. Oh, it's a 5.
Oh, that is unfortunate.
That's shattering the believers right there. So on to Death Guard, turn 1.
Yep. Okay, so very exciting movement phase for the Death Guard in turn 1. The Leviathan moved backwards a little bit, and the bikes moved across a little bit. Nothing else, because there's not all that much point moving at the moment, because I don't know where the drop pods are coming in. So we'll move into shooting. The only thing that can shoot is the heavy support squad, and they can see 2 of the assault squad over there, so maybe I can kill 2 guys. Let's see what happens. Right, that's the end of my turn. 9 autocannons fired across the table at the assault squad over here, and killed 2 of them. They were the only 2 I could see. So that was effective, and that's the end of my turn, because I got no charges, unfortunately. So we'll move into Space Wolves turn 1. Right, so we'll come back to that pile of stuff in a second. End of movement for the Space Wolves in turn 1. The Assault Marines have jumped up and over the building, and the Proteus has moved up 12 over there. So turn 1, as we just saw a second ago, the Charybdis and one of the Dreadclaws have come in. Charybdis landed first, killed one of the heavy support squad, I believe, 3 of the assault squad with his explodey burning retros, something.
Oh, gun.
Put a wound on a death shroud, and that was all he did. Then this guy landed and did the exact same thing and killed another one of the heavy support squad. I think that was all I lost. 2 heavy support and 3 assault marines. Yeah.
You rolled a lot of failed saves, but your
I did.
Feel No Pains were outstanding.
Yeah, they do tend to be quite good for me, which is fortunate. So that's the end of that. We go on to shooting now, and this thing's got about a bajillion missiles that it's going to fire. So there'll probably be slightly more in the dead pile after this, I would imagine. Right, so shooting. The Charybdis, Special K, as it's known affectionately, did no damage to the Leviathan. I've passed my save on the heavy support squad and my save on the assault squad, but you killed a bike. So that was alright. But you've killed a fair bit of stuff. You've probably not quite made your points back, I would have thought. But you've killed a few things. And the Proteus over there, snap firing 2 weapons because he went flat out, fired at the Death Shroud, got 1 hit, and rolled a 1 to wound. So that was exciting.
Yeah.
So that is the end of turn 1 for the Space Wolves, and the end of the turn full stop. So we'll move into turn 2 for the Death Guard in a moment. End of movement, turn 2 for the Death Guard. Not massive amounts happened, but we've got a plan. Bikes have moved around to the side. They're going to go after the Proteus next turn, assuming it's still there. The Grave Wardens have moved backwards. They've got a 12-inch charge into the a 7-inch charge into the Charybdis if I don't destroy it with shooting. Assault Marines have just moved forwards a little bit to get out of any blast radius if there is one. Leviathan has shimmied forwards a smidge. Contempt has turned around. These guys have stayed where they are in the hope that I can pop this in the shooting phase, and then they can Fury of the Legion into whatever gets out of it. So that's the end of that. Let's do some shooting. Okay, that's the end of the shooting phase, turn 2 for the Death Guard. The Leviathan and the Contempt have fired at the Dreadclaw, and I don't think I did anything. I think you jinked everything, didn't you? What started it? The crack grenade. Nope. The lantern from Mortarion got a pen on the Charybdis.
Yep.
Failed the jink, then I immobilised it, which was very handy. Then these guys fired at it with their crack grenades, did nothing. Crack grenade from the assault squad did nothing. And then these guys polished off the last wounds. I think it was 4 glances and 2 pens or something ludicrous at the end of the day.
It was a lot.
Yeah. So that's destroyed, wrecked. The Varagir or Varangir? Varagir have got out with Russ, and there's a Speaker of the Dead hiding in the middle down there. Is there another one in there?
Forge Lord as well.
Forge Lord in there as well. Oh yeah, there he is. They got shot at by the tacticals over here, killed one of the Terminators, and then the bikes over this side fired at them as well and put a wound on the Thane. So that's the end of the shooting phase.
You're forgetting one thing.
Am I?
The Graviton.
Oh, I am. Sorry, I completely forgot that. So the Graviton gun in the fist in the manner of me using templates, which is why I'm, as an aside, completely happy that 8th edition's turned around and there's no templates anymore. Fired his Graviton gun at the Dreadclaw, placed it right dead centre, scattered this way, 4 inches, missed the Dreadclaw, hit the Leviathan. I failed my invulnerable save and he took a hull point. So yeah, I don't like templates. So we're going into the assault phase. I've got a couple to do. I've got the Terminators in... Lots of words here. I'm going to call them Death Shroud now. The Grave Wardens into the Varigir, and the Death Shroud are going to go into the Varigir as well. And I'm sort of half tempted to try and charge the Assault Squad in too. Just to bog you down with loads of numbers. But I don't think I will. I don't think I'll have space. So we'll do those 2 charges, and we'll see what happens afterwards. Okay, so charges, the Grave Wardens failed their charge. The Death Shroud, Mortarion, and the Primus Medicae made it in. I issued a challenge with the guy with the Death Shroud who had 1 wound left, and Russ accepted. So my poor little Death Shroud over there is going to get absolutely murdered, I think. What's the verdict?
I'm going to go on a he survives.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
My first round of Primarch combat always involves me rolling 2s.
Okay, brilliant. Well, let's hope it continues. Well, I kind of hope it continues. That's really harsh, so I sort of don't. What's the verdict on the armour?
So the armour, it's the exact wording of it is...
Yep.
In addition, enemy models in base contact with Liam and Russ at their initiative step of the fight subphase suffer a -1 penalty.
So even though they're not attacking him, they're at -1. Perfect. That makes absolute sense. So we will roll this up and we'll come back after this fight. Right, so that's the end of the assault phase. Yeah. It didn't go overly well. I was hoping Russ wouldn't kill everything. And I'd get a chance to swing and maybe kill some of you, but apparently I'm not allowed to. So Russ accepted the challenge, attacking with the Sword of Bale Knight.
Yeah, Sword of Bale Knight.
Sword of Bale Knight. So that's the one that if you do a wound to something, you then have to take a toughness test on 2d6, and if it's greater than your toughness, you take another wound. You take d3 wounds rather. So the Forge Lord for the Space Wolves had a Rad Grenade. So my guys were toughness 3, so he was instant killing them, so I didn't get Feel No Pain, and basically everybody apart from Mortarion died before they got a chance to do anything.
It's probably worth mentioning as well that we realised almost as soon as we did all the rolls that I may as well have just hit you with the axe.
Yes.
Because either way, I would have insta-killed you and we wouldn't have had all the awkward saves. So.
Yeah, it's okay though. It's okay. Mortarion then killed the Forge Lord and the Thane.
Yes.
I think that was it. Everybody else made their saves. And then the Speaker of the Dead didn't do anything, and then the Varigir with their chain fists put 4 wounds on Mortarion. So I've got... it's the end of my turn now. I've got a Will Not Die to do. So he gets a win back. And I didn't even need me reroll. Lovely. Okay, so that's that. We're now into turn 2 for... And he's fearless, so he doesn't have to worry about a leadership test because the rest of his unit died. Turn 2 for the Space Wolves. Right, so turn 2 movement for the Space Wolves. What are they called? Grey Slayers disembarked from the Charybdis. He was trying to get up the building to get into the autocannons, but got a really crappy move through cover, I'm sorry to say. These guys are locked in combat, so they didn't move. Charybdis then went up and over, clipping the heavy support squad and the assault squad with its fire blasty heat thing. Didn't take any wounds when it did that, or didn't take any hull points rather, and didn't take a hull point. It didn't immobilise itself when it landed, because it landed in this crater which we've just moved, so the base is more stable. So the crater is actually underneath that model.
So it doesn't fall on all your beautifully painted models.
Well, equally, so yours doesn't fall over and break your beautifully painted model. That's all the move. Oh, the Proteus moved forwards 6, or did it just stay where it was?
Move 6,
move forwards.
Disgorge.
Disembarked the support squad, and the assault marines at the back moved forwards 12, because they're scared of my assault marines. And that was about it, I think. So we're going on to shooting now. Turn 2 for Space Wolves. Unfortunately, you haven't. Right, so that's the end of the shooting phase in turn 2 for the Space Wolves. Locked in combat, that's been wrecked. That guy doesn't have any guns. These guys did their run move, so with, is it Warrior's Metal?
Yes.
Is that their rule? So they can run and then charge. So he was just getting within to an inch away from my guys, so he can't fail his charge. Nothing happened over here. Then the Proteus fired 2 las cannons at the bikes. One snap fired, and then he Power the Machine Spirited the other one at the Assault Marines, killed an Assault Marine, killed a biker.
Yes.
Then all of these rapid firing plasmas killed the rest of the bike squad.
Yeah, they did.
So that was all of that. So into the assault phase, we've got the ongoing combat there, and we've got this charge going on here. I don't think there's anything else, is there?
No, that's it.
Okie dokes. So we'll resolve a shed load of Overwatch,
Yes.
and then we'll see what happens when we come back at the end of the assault phase.
All I've done tonight is eat.
That's all right. You're entitled to eat every so often, I think. Right, that's the end of the assault phase. Obviously, these guys... sorry, no, it's not. That's the charge phase done. We've still got some fights to do. So, ongoing combat there. And the Grey Slayers made it in here. Didn't lose anybody to Overwatch. And that was it. So let's do some fighting, and we'll come back after that. That's the end of turn 2 for the Space Wolves, and that is the end of turn 2. We saw in the shooting phase the bikers died. We've just had the assault phase. The Grey Slayers killed 8 of my tactical marines. 2, 4, 6, 7, and I killed 3 of you in return, including the Huskarl, the sergeant equivalent. He died to the scythe on my sergeant, which was nice, but didn't really make a difference because everything you had was AP 2 or 3. So that was cool. And then over here, Russ did nothing to Mortarion.
No.
I made all my saves. Russ issued a challenge. Obviously, Mortarion had to accept because he was the only model left. Got 3 wounds through, and then I've made all my invulnerable saves, I think. I then did nothing in return with Mortarion. A number of hits and wounds, but you made all your saves there. And then the chain fists on the Varigir just absolutely... Oh no, actually it was 1 wound in it.
Yeah, it was a case of 1 wound.
I needed to make 5 saves. I made 4, and he died. So that's the end of that. We're going to turn 3 now. I'm not sure what to do with my Grave Wardens. Oh, God knows what I'm going to do with my Assault Marines. They might... I don't know. These guys are locked in combat. I've still got the 2 Dreadnoughts there as well. But I'm rapidly running out of army. So let's see what happens in turn 3 for the Death Guard. Right, so movement phase turn 3 for Death Guard. The Grave Wardens have just spread out to shoot at the Varigir and Russ. There's no point charging them because they'll all just get murdered by Russ before they get a chance to do anything. The Leviathan's moved forwards a little bit. He's going to try and make a charge through there. It's quite a long way, so I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. Contemptor is going after the Grey Slayers here. There's nothing else he could really have done just because of where he was deployed. Assault Marines going after the Charybdis. It is in hover mode, so I can still charge it. And all of the heavy support squad stayed where they were. Probably going to shoot down there, but might pick on some of the people over that side. We'll have to wait and see. So shooting phase, turn 3 for the Death Guard coming up.
Oh, wait. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I killed the first one here.
Yes, you did, sorry.
And that's right. Right, so that's the end of the shooting phase, turn 3 for the Death Guard. The autocannons in here killed the Dreadclaw. It means those Assault Marines are basically useless this turn, but redundancy, I suppose. And the Grave Wardens here fired at the Terminators and killed one of them with the heavy flamer, I think, and then the grenades didn't do anything. The Leviathan did nothing to the Terminators, and this guy obviously can't shoot because they're in combat. So we'll move on to the assault phase. I'm sort of tempted to charge the Leviathan in because I'll hit before your Chain Fist do, and I might be able to kill a couple, but he's definitely charging in over here. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back at the end of the assault phase. I've forgotten where we are. Turn 3. That's the end of the assault phase and the end of the end of the Death Guard turn 3. So over here, the Contemptor made it into the Grey Slayers. The combination of the Contemptor, the Apothecary with the Power Sword, and the Sergeant with his Power Scythe killed off all the Grey Slayers before they had a chance to do anything, because they were all Initiative 1, the ones that were left. The Leviathan made it in here. I don't think he killed anybody, did he, the Leviathan?
No.
So that was awesome. But then he exploded when they punched him in the face back with their chain fists, and then he killed one. So yeah, have that, Varagir. That's what happens when you destroy my Leviathans. And the Grave Wardens ran in, and Russ killed all of them before they had a chance to do anything at all.
I don't think I was expected Russ to kill all of them.
No. I had 6 4-up saves to make. I failed 5 of them. There were 5 in the squad. They all died. That's the end of turn 3 for the Death Guard. Turn 3 for the Space Wolves coming up. Does your pod come in?
Do you want me to roll it on camera?
Well, I may as well.
Cool.
There's something to do this turn, isn't it? It's not going to be much else for you, is it?
On a 2-up?
Yep. I was hoping that was another one. Okay, so the next drop pod's coming in. And yeah, I've got a heavy support squad in the building, a Contemptor at the bottom, about a 1/3-ish strength tactical squad there, maybe slightly over, and about a half-strength assault squad in the middle. It's not going very well. But we'll see. You've got Warlord, you've got Price of Failure, you've got 2 infantry squads.
The 2 Terminate squads.
Yep, so that's the 2 infantry squads, because you haven't killed the rest of them.
Yes, that's right.
The characters don't count, so we don't have to worry about that. You've currently got that corner and that corner.
The characters still count for the kill points, though.
They do. You've killed everything so far that you've tried to kill. So it's going to be quite a whitewash, but I'm happy to... Or I'm interested to see what else happens, whether you actually can table me or not.
I don't think it's going to be a whitewash. I think there's a strong chance I might win him on main points.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm blabbering on.
That's all right.
I think it's going to be one of those... It could go either way with depending on how it goes, because the Grey Slayers, which are the main combat unit that I've got left, because they're not at full strength anymore, so they're going to really struggle getting places because they're...
Yeah, that's true. They're slow now. Yeah.
So my next thing is I'm going to have to start looking at splitting off Russ from the unit so that I can start taking out more than one unit.
Yep.
And the Grey Slayers aren't going to be able to assault the turn they come out.
That is true.
So
they can assault the turn they come out unless you jump out turn 1. The turn they land.
So basically, they've got to stay in the pod for at least another turn.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, well, interesting. We'll see what happens in Space Wolf turn 3. Right, turn 3 movement for the Space Wolves. The assault squad have moved up. You've declared Howl of the Death Wolf.
Yes.
Is that what it's called? So that's reroll run and charges. Or just charges?
Run and charges.
Run and charges, excellent. The Proteus moved up 6, flipped around a bit, so he's got line of sight on a lot of stuff, but most of it will be snap firing.
I moved 12, which is obviously
12.
important.
Yes, sorry, I meant 12, because I pointed a long way, but then said 6.
It's okay, I just didn't want anyone to think I was cheating.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Russ has split off from the Varagir, and is going after the Assault Marines over there. The Varagir have come around this way, looking at the Contemptor, I would assume. And the third of the drop pods has come in. He tried to land over here somewhere. We worked out it was 8 inches, 8 and a bit inches off the board. Yeah. And he got a 7 on the scatter directly towards the edge. Killed one of my tacticals with the flamey thing.
The one thing that's probably worth mentioning that has done Matt so well this game is the apothecaries in so many of his squads.
These guys.
The Feel No Pains have just been fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, horrendously above statistically average.
But, you know what? Makes sense.
Yeah. It's a Death Guard thing. They're tough, but why not make them a bit tougher? Shooting phase, I guess, then turn 3 for Space Wolves.
I think this is going to be quite a short shooting phase.
What's actually going to shoot? Is it going to be the Land Raider? Russ has got a gun.
Shoot.
Yeah, of course.
That could possibly shoot.
He's got a plasma pistol.
I'm probably going to not shoot in lieu of probably wanting to get in combat with Russ.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
This is going to shoot, though.
Yep.
Because
maybe some pistols from the Assault Marines?
Yeah, I could pistol.
Because they don't have the run and charge thing,
no,
do they?
They don't. So for those watching as well, it's probably worth mentioning, the only reason I've done a Howl of the Death Wolf is because I've got 2, and I haven't used any yet. Sorry.
That's fair enough. And that is quite a long charge if you wanted to make it.
I think we made it an 11-inch charge.
I believe so, yeah.
Maybe a 10.
Yeah, 10. But 10. Plus 2 for the terrain.
So I needed 12.
So may as well give it a reroll, why not?
Yep.
Let's do some shooting, we'll come back at the end. Okay, that's the end of the Space Wolves turn 3. We did a combined one because each phase was actually really quick. Shooting phase, the Proteus was the only thing that actually fired, and it killed one of the heavy support squads.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, and the plasma pistol down here actually from the speaker failed to wound the Contemptor. Assault phase. These guys tried to charge the Contemptor. No wounds on Overwatch, and you didn't make your distance. Leman Russ charged into the assault squad. No wounds on Overwatch, and he murdered them all. No, that's a lie. He murdered 4 of the 6 remaining. I got a wound, but you made a save, and then you ran me down in sweeping advance.
This is true.
So you didn't kill all of them until the end of it. And those guys tried to charge, but they were miles away, unfortunately. And this guy flatted out in the shooting phase. So we'll go on to turn 4 now for the Death Guard. I'm going to say this is going to be the last turn of the game. I think.
Turn 5 Death Guard?
No, because that was turn 3.
Was it?
Yeah. Because he's only just come down, and he came down in turn 3.
Yes, he did. Shit. Wow. Yeah, that was brutal.
So yeah, I think this is probably going to be the end of the last turn of the game. Obviously, after the Space Wolves have their turn 4. So we'll do a combined Death Guard turn because there's basically nothing left, and then we'll see what happens with the Space Wolves afterwards. So here we go. Death Guard turn 4. Each other, isn't it? Right. So that is the end of turn 4 and the end of the game. Because we agreed before the turn it was probably going to be the end. And when you see what's left on the table, you'll understand why that is the end of the game. So, what happened? These guys... Yeah, what did happen in this turn? I destroyed the Dreadclaw, and one of the Greyslayers died to the explosion.
Yep.
The Assault Marines just moved over and claimed that table quarter. The support squad jumped out of their Land Raider and killed a couple of the heavy support squad, I think.
Yep.
Russ killed 1 or maybe 2 with his bolter, and then charged in and finished them all off in the Death Guard turn. The Varagir tried to charge the Contemptor, but lost 1 guy to Overwatch. 2 guys to Overwatch?
One
guy to Overwatch.
Yeah.
And put a wound on the Speaker of the Dead.
Yeah.
And these guys killed the last of my tactical squad. So that's it. I have this guy left on the board. And we've got Leman Russ in the building in there. No points for the Varagir. No points for this squad. No points for the assault squad over there, and none for this squad over here. So I got kill points wise 3 drop pods.
Yep. So sorry, I'm trying to note this down.
Oh, no worries.
So 3 drop pods.
Yep. Your first Greyslayer squad.
So that's 2. So that puts you on 5.
1 Speaker of the Forge Lord.
Forge Lord.
I killed, and that was it.
Okay.
I believe.
So that puts you on 6.
Yep, and I'm in a quarter.
That's a tertiary, so it's a separate victory point. So once again, we apologise. The rules for this are on the SM Battle Reports website as well. If it
Cool.
makes it
I'll find that, and I'll put a link in the description. So, primary wise, what did you get?
So
aside from all of them.
So we've got the Havoc squad, which is worth 2.
Yep.
We've got the Tactical squad, which is worth 2.
Yep.
We've got the Assault squad, which is worth 2.
Yep. The Apothecary unit.
Yeah, so this is something we looked at, and the Apothecary unit is an infantry unit, not an independent character, so therefore you get 2 if you pick infantry for scoring them, but you have to remove the whole squad.
Yep, that's what we agreed on. So that's another 2.
So that's another 2.
Death Shroud.
Death Shroud, which is another 2.
Grave Wardens.
Grave Wardens, which is another 2. Mortarion.
Is infantry... is he an independent character? Or is he just infantry character?
Kill points wise, sorry. So
kill points wise, yes. So we get that he's infantry character, he's not an independent. Oh no, he is independent character. He is independent character, sorry, yeah. Kill points wise, Leviathan.
Yeah.
Primus Medicae. Mortarion, unless you've noted him down already. That's it. Bikes.
Bike squad.
Yeah, because everything else is infantry.
Yeah. So...
What's the score currently? in the primaries.
So that's a 16 points to 6. So it's a 10-point lead.
Lovely.
So I believe that means that I win the primary mission at 14 points.
Yep.
Secondary. So Slay the Warlord.
Yep, you got that.
Last Man Standing.
You got that.
Price of Failure, which is worth D3.
Yep, you got that as well.
Which is worth 2.
2.
So yeah, that's the secondary. So that's the secondary points as well.
I didn't kill your warlord. I only have 1 unit left, and you have more than that. And yeah.
Okay. And then the tertiary mission, which was Line Breaker and Table Quarters.
Okay, so line breaker, 1, 2, 3 units all within my deployment zone. Table quarters, you've got units in that one, and that one, and that one, and that one.
So I currently have
5, I guess. 1 for line breaker and 4 for quarters.
Yep.
I've got 1 for being in a quarter.
1 for being in a quarter. So yeah.
A point! Yeah.
Which brings it to a total, based on SM Battle Report, scoring a 28 points to 0.
Hey! I'll shake your hands for that.
Cheers, dude. Thank
It was
you
a good
very,
game.
very much.
Very much enjoyed it, as one-sided as it ended up being. It did feel every so often like it might go, it might change.
Massively.
But yeah, that was it. I need more anti-tank in this list, definitely. We discussed potentially putting the bikes with melter guns, which is something I could do in the future, and I don't know, las cannon heavy support squad or something, maybe sunder shell quad mortars, something like that.
Missile launchers would be nice.
Missile launchers, yeah, because with Mortarion I suppose they get poisoned, at least on their frag grenades. Anything you'd change?
I would personally have put some melter. So you're not a fast army and you're not good at anti-tank. So maybe I would add some melter guns to the bikes because they can scout and outflank.
Mm-hmm.
I would have dropped possibly the Death Shroud.
Okay.
And put them and then added another unit of heavy weapons because that's where the reaping
that makes
really
sense.
sells. Because the problem when you go a Primarch to Primarch fight, you have to make sure that you either challenge Primarch and Primarch so that all the nice units you've put with them don't die.
Yeah, that's true. I should have accepted with Mortarion.
It's 6 one half does the other.
Yeah.
Russ is a complete wanker. There's no two ways about it. And it's fair to say, I loved Russ before the model came out. I hated the original rules. I sort of feel like I hate these rules more.
Oh, really? What, because they're too good, do you think?
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. He took no wounds this entire game.
That's true, yeah. He did have an enormous bodyguard.
He did have a big bodyguard, yeah. So I would have possibly gone balls to the walls with Mortarion and separated him.
Yeah.
You know what, also? Where both units didn't get in, might have done a big sort of change towards the end.
Yeah.
Me personally, if you're putting 2 Primarchs at each other, yes, Mortarion took down a couple, but not a lot.
No.
He would have been better off just smacking Russ in the face.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I think you're probably right, yeah. Well, next time.
Next time. There will definitely be a next time.
Next time. Although I might, given how this fared, I might bring my word bearers next time. treat you to the drop pod joy that is the last of the Serrated Suns. Anything you would change with your list? If we played that again. Bear in mind, the original plan was 3,000.
Yes.
So,
I need some anti-infantry firepower. That's my problem.
Yep.
I don't really have an issue in dealing with tanks because I'm in your deployment so quickly.
And they can just punch anything to death anyway.
Yeah. You know what? You could get charged by a Leviathan or charge into a Leviathan.
Yeah.
And it will kill a couple.
Yeah. Or none in today's example.
In this instance, none. But I don't know. I feel like the assault squad was wasted, but at the same point, they were sort of. I know because of how my list is built that those 2 units need to stay back for the first couple of turns, and they did exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah. But would you be better off putting the points of an assault squad into the equivalent of something that would be happy to stay at the back because it's got range?
If a heavy support squad had implacable advance, I would definitely do it.
Yeah.
However, Gibraltar is a lot of objective-based stuff and board coverage.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I would love a heavy support squad in here. Missile launchers I'd be firing all day, but I can't afford to not have that manoeuvrability.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you very much for making the journey up.
No, that's fine. Thank you very much for having me.
It was very good fun. It's a massive, crazy whitewash at the end, but it was really good. Very much looking forward to coming down to your neck of the woods.
Yes.
For the next one. Thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed that, and stick around for more 7th and more 30k and more 8th edition 40k. Thanks very much.